What's up, YouTube? Have you ever been having one of those days where you are just banging your head against the wall trying to get something over and over and over and over again? And even though like you don't want to try the same thing over and over again because you don't want to expect different results if you're not actually changing anything. You know it worked one time, so why isn't it working this time? And why can't I recreate it? Well, that's been my day to day. Like I got an 11 turn clear, using a bunch of mods, and like I was like, oh cool, let's try and recreate that and like just bump up my DPS a little bit and try and get a 10 turn clear, and it just like was going totally south, and I couldn't figure out why. I couldn't survive past turn 10, and I couldn't do even 11 turn clear again, and it's just been driving me crazy all day. So special shout out goes to Agni in the FFBE Discord for this reminder that the boss will do a 99% stat break on your team on turn 9, and if you don't have an immunity to that, you're going to get totally broken, and your damage is going to go, in my case, from 2.4 billion down to about 600 million, and that's not going to be enough to kill the boss. So very important to have the break immunity on. Thank you very much, Agni. You get special shout out for this and for my victory. It's totally not mine at this point now, it's yours. So we're going to go ahead and take a look. I'm at rank 689. Last time I ran this, I ran it like this, 215. This time we're going to go ahead and run 245. This is the only one that I'm not running is the defense and spirit 75. I could try it. I don't want to try it just yet. So I want to go ahead and do the 245 and see if we can't do it. We're going to be jumping up from 215 to 245 here. So let's take a look at the team. We've got 15 points worth of EX levels to play with. I'm only able to use 14 because of how the points cost. We've got Chow, we've got Tiana, Ling, Lara, Lightning, and Sky. Here we are. So if this works, I'll go ahead and show the gear after the fact. But the basic rundown of what we are doing, I'm going to pop up on screen here, is that Chow is going to be using his Omni Cover Limit Burst on every odd turn to cover the party and give us all Mirage stacks, which is going to be very helpful. And Lara is going to be using the Pause of Prosperity on odd turns as well to gain morale and buff resistance to stat breaks. Lightning is going to be doing lightning damage every turn to push the morale, as well as boosting lightning resistance after turn 5. Ling is going to be giving us machine killer buffs. Lightning's giving a gun imperil, a lightning amp, a lightning imbue. Sky's doing damage. Lara's doing damage. Tiana's doing damage and imperils to the boss for lightning, as well as some perfect dispelling towards the end, which I think is pretty cool, as well as a really big earth and lightning buff, or a resistance buff at the beginning of the fight, as well as HP regen and stuff like that. Chow's me covering and doing all the Chow stuff, as well as contributing to some damage as well. So if this works, we will take a look at the gear and stuff after the fact. But rest assured, there's lots of good gear there. You need a lot of earth and lightning resistance on your tank, as well as some evasion just in case. He's doing a lot of Mirage and stuff like that with his Limit Burst, so I'm not too worried about it, but I do like to have a lot of it on there. And so here we are. We started out, we had this big, we start in the hole basically for damage. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna downshift Chow to do, it's an odd turn, so we do the Limit Burst, the Festive Fortune to do Omni Cover, and Mirage stacks for the party. Tiana is going to quad Trouble Brewing to imperil the boss to throwing weapons, Electric Yellow to do a basic amp, as well as helping with LB fill, Rainbow Remedy to do a big resistance buff, and then Revitalizing Brew to help us recover our HP without having to use heals. If you use white magic, the boss counters with a healing ability for itself, and you don't want to do that. So you definitely want to use abilities, not magic. All right, Ling is going to start pushing the morale with Blithe Step, Moving Dance, and Disarming to break the boss. Disarming doesn't naturally give morale, but it does push it when you break. 1, 2, there we go. Lara, because it's an odd turn, is going to use Pause of Prosperity's Courageous Roar. That's going to boost stat break resistance, as well as just cure stat breaks, which is going to, and push morale. There we go. and gives everybody some limit burst. Sky's going to go ahead and use her shifted limit burst to start stacking up. I've got a turn chart. I need to follow my turn chart. There we go. And let's see here. Lightning is just going to be basically doing lightning damage. Oh, she's got to be in her shift form. There we go. Shift form, Blade of Thunder does lightning damage even though we're not imbued. And this is going to boost our lightning resistance as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do that just so she's on repeat. She's going to do that pretty much every turn except for kill turns and ones where she's going to be imbuing us. So we've already pushed the morale gauge quite a bit. All my auto buff items and stuff like that I have equipped help with that. And then the various units that are doing morale type stuff help with that a lot too. If you haven't done this fight yet, boss does lots of attacks every turn, and having Chow with enough resistance to soak those is very, very good. If you don't have Chow, you can obviously use Esther, who just came out. Beyond that, you're having to figure out, how can am I either going to go with a physical tank strategy, which is going to require more lightning and earth resistance on your entire team, or a magical tank strategy, which is going to require a lot more Mirage. I like Chow better because the Omni cover and because of the morale gain. So we're going to do that. We're going to do triple loyal, true, loyal, just to get a lot of morale. Okay. Tiana is going to shift and do 5 casts of her stacking lightning ability. Lara is not going to use pause this time because Chow already did it to gain morale. So we're going to use barrage. She's got a lightning weapon equipped, so she's going to be helping push morale as well. We'll go ahead and cast those 5 here. She doesn't do a lot of damage now, but in the end, she does a lot. She does a lot because I do get her fully stacked, which is nice. Lightning is just going to repeat. Okay. Ling is going to shift this turn, and she's going to do some morale fill with Blythe moving. And then go ahead and give us a mechanic stance buff. That's machine killer and machine damage mitigation. Not super important because Chow doesn't really take any damage until later in the fight, but I needed something to do with her third action. And Sky, instead of stacking, is going to Sharp Spear and Battering Winds. That's going to give a little bit of an accuracy debuff, which does help. Not as good as her Limit Burst, but still good. There we go. See, we're already below 50, so we can use Ferocity Dance now with Ling, which is really good. Oh my gosh, so many attacks. But the Omni cover, that's what it's there for. It lasts 2 turns, so you have to do it every odd turn. Now, one of the things that happens when you use a Limit Burst, the boss counters with a big debuff for lightning or earth resist. It's kind of random. But for now, Tiana's big buff is helping with that. And so Chow is going to be just fine, right? Just fine. I'm going to go ahead and use the Limit Burst, Festive Fortune. Sky's going to go ahead and use the Shifted Limit Burst to stack up. There we go. Okay. It's an odd turn, so Lara's going to use the Courageous Roar, Pause of Prosperity. Lightning is just going to repeat. Tiana is just going to repeat. Just pushing that morale gauge. Okay. And Ling is going to triple Dance of Ferocity, which we unlocked because we're below 50% morale on the boss, Blithe Step, and Celestial Dance. This is going to give us some stacks of Mirage, as well as fill the Limit Burst gauge for people who need it. There we go. 32%, not bad. I'm usually averaging 0 morale on the boss by turn 5. Not too shabby, considering no Cressnik. Okay, thank you. All right. We're going to do triple again. Loyal, true, loyal. Big morale fill on turn 4. Okay. And Laura's going to barrage. Sky is going to use her shifted limit burst again to get the final stack. These two are just going to repeat. I don't chain. You don't want to go below the boss's first threshold, which is 75%. If you do, the boss is going to get accuracy and then wipe out Chow. So that's not good. Turn 4, Ling will use Ferocity, Blithe, and Rallying Dance. Oh, you also want to use your morale skills as you go, because they're going to help push the morale gauge. Especially the attack and magic one. That one usually you can use pretty much every turn pretty easily. So here we go. I only got 1% left. We're totally going to hit the morale cap, no problem. Like, Chow's counters are probably going to do it for us. Thank you. Not quite, but we're really close. Like, the auto buffs basically took care of it. So it's an odd turn. Chow's going to Festive Fortune. Lara is going to Pause of Prosperity. There it is. It's going to be 0 morale here, no problem. Turn 5, we just continue the onslaught with these two. Yep, I'm just reading my chart. Yep. Sky's going to downshift and use triple Battering Winds just to hit the boss. Okay, thank you. We'll use the buff afterwards, after Tiana's done. Because I don't want to do too much damage. Like, I want to get us close enough that we can burst and hit the 49% threshold, but I don't want to do too much damage because that the big threshold, you know, it having accuracy stinks. All right, so we'll do that, and then her turn 5 is Blithe, Ferocity, and Mechanic Stance again. Blithe, Ferocity, and Mechanic Stance. Now, that Blithe and Ferocity we don't really need because we've already hit 0 morale on the boss, but I like to just be double sure. Okay. There we go. Turn 6, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to use Chow's Focused Inspiration skill to give him big mitigations, which is going to help a little bit later. We're getting ready. We're going to start gearing up for our kill as well. All right, so it's turn 6. Chow is going to use True, Loyal, and Focused Inspiration. Big stat buffs for everybody. There we go. Lara is just going to Barrage. Tiana, her Quint cast wore off, so we're going to use Lightning, 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 and Trouble Brewing. Before I do, I'm going to just double check Chow's resistances. So if you see, you know, Chow is dipped down into 45% here on the Lightning. So if we were to take a physical hit, we will take some damage. Thankfully, Chow has 100% evasion in his kit with the gear that I have him equipped with. So most of the lightning damage, if not all of it, is going to be physical. So he's going to be dodging that anyway. The bigger one that I'm worried about is him hitting, you know, getting down really low on the earth resistance, which is where the magical damage comes in. So as long as that's okay, I can deal with this. But if this got too low because of the imperils and stuff, I would use Tiana here to Trouble Brewing, Fantastic Formula, and then double Lightning, because Fantastic Formula gets rid of the imperils. Now it also gets rid of the boss's buffs and stuff, so we're saving this for later. We're gonna need it a little bit later. We always got to have one stack at least to make this work. So you don't want to use that too much. So I'm gonna hold off on it and not use it just yet. I don't need it. So trouble, no. Lightning, 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 and then trouble. And that's again to not do too much damage to the boss. All right. Turn 6, Lightning is actually going to use her shifted limit burst to imbue the party. That's going to last for 3 turns. So turn 6, 7, and 8. 8 is our burst turn. So that's going to be good. That's going to be in place for when we need it on turn 8. Guy is going to stay here. She's going to Sharp Spear, Battering Winds, Battering Winds. Okay. Go ahead and use our buffs. Ling is going to downshift, and she is going to. We've already got that maxed out, so we're going to go ahead and Dance of Ferocity. Just to fill LB gauges for anybody who needs it. Disarming, and it seems odd, but we're going to hit Enthrall too. That's going to give the boss a dagger imperil, and she happens to be wearing a 1 dagger and 1 staff. So I'm splitting weapon imperils, but I might as well do it. You know, I need every little bit that I can get. Okay. Turn 7 is more of the same. You know, Chow is on an odd turn, so he's going to use his limit burst. We got Paws of Prosperity coming out, and we're going to be doing our final prep for the burst next turn. This boss, man, so many attacks. Okay. Limit Burst, and because I'm using Dragon Dancer at the end of this turn, I'm going to use Limit Burst first. Anybody who needs to use their Limit Burst needs to go first. Lightning's going to use her gun target, a Machine Killer buff, just because I know Ling's got it too, and she's going to be using it this turn. I just am paranoid and like to do it. And then I'm not going to worry about the Blade of Thunder. This turn, I'm going to use Rising Thunderbolt, just to give a little bit of lightning resistance up to Chow. Chow's currently sitting at 45, so this should take us a little bit higher, just in case. It did not. Okay, that's fine. Lara is going to use Paws of Prosperity. Sky is going to use Tyvis' Spirit. Tiana is going to just continue stacking her lightning. We don't need to worry about Fantastic Formula because Chow is still over 100%, so we are okay. Okay, working it down. Go ahead and use our buff. Keep gaining morale. Ling is going to shift, and she's going to, because we have to build Chow's Limit Burst so he can help contribute to damage on the next turn, we are going to Dance of Ferocity, bigger Mechanic Stance for Machine Killer, and then Dragon Dancer last. And this should fill him all the way. There we go. So we've come to the burst turn, the big burst turn. There's 2 burst turn basically. We're bursting on turns 8 and 10. Now, because Chow is not geared for as good resistance in his shift form, we're going to be using Tiana's Iridescent Invention to make Chow immune to damage on the next turn. So we're going to shift. And we're gonna rebuke. So he's just gonna go ahead and hit it with the limit burst. No, but you'll see we've got some lightning resist, but this is a problem, right? So that's where we're gonna go ahead and make Chow immune to earth damage. In fact, absorbing lightning and earth damage. So we should be doing just fine. And it's convenient because we're gonna be chaining Chaos Wave Awakened with Ling. So the 5th cast can not do damage, and it'll be just fine. All right, downshift. Here we go. So we're getting this, by the way, from the Aaron Yes ring and a staff that gives Thundaga. So quadcast there. Lara is going to be doing volatile ammo, of course. Lightning is going to be using Rising Thunder Bullet because it is better modifier, I believe. Yeah, 8,000 compared to this one's 500 and then 67. So yeah, 8,000 is better. And Sky is going to cap with her fully charged up Tyva's Spirit Limit Burst. Go ahead and use our buffs. We are not going to use this one just yet. Well, you know what? We can. Let's do it. So we'll use Relentless Will. We're going to be using Pause of Prosperity next turn anyway, but still. All of the attack and magic buffs and the break resistance buff. So we are fully charged up. I'm going to be sending all three of these at the same time and then all three of these at the same time. Usually when I've done this, I've got a 120 hit chain. So here we go. We're looking for big numbers here. This is the key to whether or not this works. 2.5! All right, so we capped it. Whew. I was a little worried about that. Like, with the defense mod on, I wasn't sure if we were going to get it. Now, here's where Chao's going to start absorbing health from the attacks he takes. Super cool. He's taking a little bit of non-elemental damage as well. That's okay, because he's filling it back up. Now, what this does do is it pushes the boss's morale up pretty well, because he hits technically so many times. That's okay. Now, what you'll notice is that it's an odd turn. And we're gonna go back to normal. So we're gonna roll shift down, and Chao's gonna be doing his Omni cover again. But the tricky part is that I want to use Omni cover, but I also want to use his shifted limit burst on the next turn as well. So we have to get his gauge as full as we can, using everybody else. So at this point, the boss has some buffs we need to get rid of. We need to get rid of this attack and magic, because otherwise Chao might eat it on the next turn. But we don't want to remove the breaks. So Dispel is very good, but, you know, risky. So the neat thing about Tiana is we've got 2 casts of Fantastic Formula. It's going to remove all the bad stuff from us, remove all the good stuff from the boss. We like that. And we're going to use that first, and then Chaos Wave Awakened 4 times, just to continue getting stacks. This way we can continue like breaking the boss and doing stuff. This is just the first thing we want to do every turn, or on this turn. So Dispel, and then we reapply the lightning debuff. So now if we look again, he lost his attack and magic, and his lightning debuff is back in place. So we're good to go. In fact, everything else is back and is gone too. The first time I did this, I accidentally just used a regular Dispel, and I wiped out all these imperils, and I was like, oh no, I can't do damage. So it was no bueno. Now that we've done that, we're going to go ahead and use Rose and Bloom again to re-imbue the party. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and use Pause of Prosperity to try and just push us as close as we can to Chao using Chao's Limit Burst. Okay. Not bad. We're getting close. Let's see here. Sharp Spear and Battering. Come on, Chao, get some crystals. Nope. Okay, so we're about as close as we're gonna make it. So we're gonna go ahead and shift Ling, and on this turn we are gonna be using triple. We're going to be using Celestial Dance. That's gonna give the party some Mirage stacks, as well as fill LB gauge for the party, which is gonna push Chao up to full. We're going to use Mechanic Stance just to reapply it, and then the last thing we're doing is Dragon Dancer to fill Limit Burst again. So here's the tricky part. I have to hit this really quick. As soon as it's full, activate the Omni cover on Chao, and then and then before the third ability, use it so that it can refill. So very quick. There we go. So hopefully, oh, can we do this? Can we do this? Yes. Okay. Hopefully, Chow's counters at this point will then fill him the rest of the way, and then we can use that shifted limit burst again on turn 10 for the kill. Taking a little bit of damage. We should be okay. Should be okay. Yep, we're fine. We're full. We made it to turn 10. Oh my gosh. Go and use all of our stuff. I like to fill HP. Just because I'm paranoid. I just use those, all the buffs. Okay. Get ourselves ready. Hit the rebuke. We're just gonna do 4 casts of this. Tiana's fully charged at this point, so Tiana should be dishing out quite a bit of hurt with her quad Chaos Wave Awaken. Everybody else is going to be doing about the same. Sky is no longer boosted by Tyvis's Spirit, so Sky's going to be doing a little bit less damage this time. But the last time I did this, I ended up doing 2.7 billion on the big burst and then 2.4. So we might lose a little bit. The important thing, though, is that we kill the boss. That's the key. So if this doesn't kill the boss, then this whole run is going to be over because Chow's going to wipe. I guarantee it. So same thing on the left, on the right. Wish us luck. We did it. So we started out at 689, I believe. Oh, 2.4, not bad. That was a good variance roll. That was really good considering we didn't have Tyvis's Spirit. We started at like 689, so let's see how we did by adding in those extra modifiers. Okay, capped everything, and what do we get? Don't want any of that. 632. So, you know, I'm pretty pleased with myself because I've just been like watching people's guides and stuff to try and put this strategy together. And then of course, you know, Agni, big help to Agni. Thank you so much for that recommendation about the 99% stat break. That pushed us over the edge. So I'm not going to do it right now, but I am going to go back and add in that last modifier. Not add in, but do, you know, see if I can't do this instead, and that'll be maybe my maximum score possible with this team, or that will be my maximum score possible if I can cap it, because I'll be out of EX levels. So at that point, I'll just kind of be stuck until I can maybe get, if I get a random copy of a Sky or something like that in this week's free polls. Who knows? Either way, we did it. We got a perfect score on that setup. Let's take a look at the ranking. So I can see it. Yep, 104, 3000. And amongst my friends, the only people that are above me are people who are rank 1ing it. So that's pretty cool. So like above the of the people who are actually competing, quote unquote, I'm at the top of my friends list, which is kind of neat. Cool. All right. Well, that's going to be it for right now. I hope this video helps you out. Thursday will be new content night over on Twitch. So if you are interested in watching live content, I'll be doing that on Thursday night on Twitch. Maybe playing this again tomorrow night too. I start Twitch. I start streaming on Twitch at 9 p.m. Central Time, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. But new content night is always a guarantee going to be FFBE. Sometimes I play other stuff. But if this video is helpful, you know, tell me about it in the comments. I want to hear like if it was useful. If you can't do it, if you want to know, like, you know, who can I sub this for or that for, let me know and I'll do my best to try and help you out with that. If you've got a question about it, and if it's useful to you, if you like stuff like this, you know, I'm trying to be more active in terms of like putting clear guides out and stuff, as well as the normal stuff that I put out on Friday nights for new players. So if you like that, feel free to subscribe. We appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe, all the stuff that helps me feel motivated to keep doing it. So that said, have a good night, pleasant evening, pleasant weekend. It's not weekend yet. It's only Monday. Have a pleasant Monday night and Tuesday morning. All right, take care. So it turns out I'm a goober, and I said I was gonna do a quick look at the gear if this worked, and then I didn't do a quick look at the gear even though it worked. So here we go. Do a quick look at the gear. It's you know, it's important to know the gear, and just to adequately demonstrate it, I'll put this all back the way it was. There we go. So the gear, right? So we're gonna start with Chow. As I think Chow is one of the most important units on this team, frankly. So I've got, you know, big time earth and lightning resistances. The lightning is less important than the earth because I have full evasion. You only technically need 50% evasion, but there are times when Sky does not use her limit burst to debuff the boss's accuracy, and I would rather just be safe than sorry. So I went ahead and went with 100. In fact, I have 105. He's also using, his limit burst all the time for mirage stacks, and we get mirage stacks from Ling and stuff. But I don't care. I'm paranoid, and his tanking form, I can sacrifice damage a little bit on his tanking form. I don't care. I just want him to be able to survive the onslaught that is that boss. So he did. Here's the gear. Okay, I'm gonna just leave it there. If you want to take a look at it and pause it, you can. Lots of resistances, lots of dodge. This vision card for the extra lightning and earth resistance. Okay, here's shift form. Basically just built for damage. Still has some evasion because I'm nutty. It ended up not being a big deal because I still capped it with my mods that I had turned on. So there it is. There's the abilities. Same vision card. Great. Cool. Okay. Tiana. Lots of autofill stuff in the base form for lots of HP and just like, you know, morale gain on the first turn. Okay. Brave shift. Less morale fill, more damage. Tiana does not need much resistance or evasion or anything like that because Chow's doing all the heavy lifting. Cool. Ling does spend time in both forms. Aaron Yes Ring in the chaining form, whatever form you're going to be chaining in. Notice I got a staff and a dagger. Dagger in peril comes from her. Staff in peril comes from Chow. There you go. Killers and mage stuff in the base form because she's doing damage there. Magic vision card to just try and help boost the magic stat a little bit. It's like every little bit helps, you know. Shift form, more geared towards LB fill and evasion and stuff like that. Okay. Lara has a lightning elemental weapon for when you're doing barrage. Pause of prosperity. I know it's time limited. If you don't have it, you could use Lion Emblem for LB fill and find some other way to do break resistance. Okay. Shift form, all damage. Damage and killers, damage and killers. Very good. All right. Lightning. She starts in the base form. I didn't even bother equipping her with a hat. She's got some autofill stuff, just some resistance, just because I don't even need it. The auto. It's better to just give her a lot of autofill for morale and stuff. She's gonna shift on turn 1 and spend the rest of the time in this form. So she's got a gun. She's got machine killer. Yeah. She's not even that capped out. Like, she doesn't have full true double hand. You know, it's whatever. She's there to do her her limit burst to amp and apply lightning. That's the big thing she's there for. Sky is evading a little bit. You know, her base form is not that important. She does spend a few turns there, but Xiao's always covering her. Has Tyvus's Spirit for the big LB damage buff. And then she's built for damage here. Gun build. Take advantage of Lightning's Gun in peril. Magisters for that. Okay. There we are. She's got 300 stone, 225 machine. Laura is the other damage dealer. Has 300 machine, 300 stone. And then the other damage dealer, I didn't even look at the breakdown. I should have looked at the breakdown. Is 240 machine, 275 stone, or 240, 275 magic. So, yeah, that's the gear. Here's the espers that I put on everybody, and that worked. So that's it for real this time. I'll stop being a goober in the next video, or will I? Take care.